The film opens with Hardin and Tessa attending Hardin's mother's wedding. Hardin's mother appears remorseful and apologizes for keeping a major secret about Hardin's past. Hardin then meets Fans, a man who once had a romantic relationship with Hardin's mother. Fans explains the origin of his relationship with her. Although he loved her, she chose to marry her best friend. The illicit affair between Hardin's mother and Fans occurred while Hardin's father was busy with his studies, leaving her lonely. Hardin was born from this secret relationship. Hearing this revelation, Hardin feels betrayed and confused. He storms out of the house with a bottle of iced tea, haunted by dark childhood memories and his father's alcoholism. Tessa, worried, tries to persuade Hardin to return home. But he refuses and takes drastic action, setting his mother's house on fire. Consumed by the past and anger, police and firefighters arrive at the scene. Fans attempts to protect Hardin, urging him to escape while taking responsibility for the incident. The next day, Tessa learns that Hardin was temporarily detained by the police. Hardin subtly asks Tessa to go home without him, trying to prevent her from getting involved in his complicated life. Tessa, still in love with Hardin, refuses and even invites him to play games in the car to stay close. Upon arriving at the hotel, Hardin instructs Tessa to meet Kimberly while he goes to a friend's house to enjoy himself and forget his troubles. While Tessa chats with Kimberly, a hotel staff delivers a bag and a plane ticket. Hardin insists that Tessa leave without him. Tessa, unwilling to abandon Hardin, tries calling him. James, a friend of Hardin, answers and provides Hardin's location. When Tessa arrives, she finds Hardin being intimate with another woman. Although disappointed, she still wants to give him a chance. However, Hardin rejects her, claiming she doesn't belong there and refusing to burden her any longer. Tessa returns home alone, accompanied by London. At home, she recalls memories with Hardin. In the bathroom, she discovers her deceased father, who had died from excessive drinking. London attempts to call Hardin, but Hardin continuously ignores the calls. Eventually, a friend passes the call to Hardin, who, upon hearing the news, asks London to hand the phone to Tessa, but she refuses. Tessa is heartbroken, refuses to eat, and avoids conversation. Hours later, Hardin arrives at Tessa's house. Initially, she refused to see him, but he insists on talking. Tessa's mother, who dislikes Hardin, tells him that if he truly loves Tessa, he must fight for her. Hardin apologizes, but Tessa explains that their on-again, off-again relationship cannot continue because it has never been serious. The following day, Tessa's father's funeral takes place. Afterward, Tessa seeks solitude in a park, avoiding Hardin, who is also present. A few days later, Tessa returns to Seattle and talks to Kimberly about moving to New York with London. Meanwhile, Hardin confronts his father, asking why he stayed in love with Hardin's mother despite her affair. Hardin's father explains that he loved both Hardin's mother and Hardin. Even knowing Hardin was not his biological son, Tessa consults a doctor and learns that her chances of conceiving a child are very slim. This news saddens her, and she begins to avoid Hardin. Concerned, Hardin flies to Seattle, finding Tessa drunk from overindulging in iced tea. The next morning, Hardin asks if Tessa is pregnant. She reveals she cannot have children. Shocked, Hardin initially struggles with the news, but soon realizes he wants to stay with Tessa, regardless of their ability to have children. That evening, Tessa and Hardin attend London's farewell dinner before moving to New York. Hardin also attends Tessa's graduation. After dinner, Tessa asks for a temporary break in their relationship, citing toxicity from constant arguing and making up. She wants to test if their love is genuine or merely driven by desire. Hardin initially refuses and even offers to move to Seattle for her, but Tessa insists on moving to New York without him. Subsequently, Tessa relocates to New York with London. Working as a restaurant server alongside Nora, Hardin occupies himself, attending rehabilitation and trying to overcome his alcohol addiction. 5 months later, Hardin comes to New York. London invites him to stay in their apartment to avoid being alone. Tessa declines to meet Hardin, focused on her double shifts at work. One night, Hardin and London have dinner at the restaurant where Tessa works. Hardin waits until Tessa finishes her shift to accompany her home. On their way, A homeless man approaches, and Hardin instinctively moves to protect Tessa. Tessa calms him, reminding him she regularly feeds the homeless, evoking memories of her late father. That night, Hardin has a nightmare. Tessa sleeps beside him to comfort him. Since being with Tessa, Hardin's nightmares have diminished. They cook together, almost getting carried away in intimacy, but Tessa is not yet ready to resume their romantic relationship. The next day, they witness London and Nora being affectionate, which makes Hardin proud that his step-sibling has taken the plunge. While tidying the apartment, Tessa discovers Hardin's journal, previously forbidden to her. Curious, she reads it and finds a detailed account of their lives and relationship. Furious that Hardin wrote about them without permission and, having just met a publisher, Tessa is angered. Hardin explains that he initially wrote to express his frustrations, but encouragement from his counseling group led him to publish the book. Despite Hardin's explanation, Tessa cannot accept it, and their relationship crumbles again. Hardin publishes his book and briefly returns to London to reconcile with his mother and present his work. Tessa continues her life, growing closer to Robert. One day, she sees a poster for Hardin's book signing in New York. Disguised, she attends but leaves immediately upon seeing Hardin with another woman. Hardin catches a glimpse of Tessa, and the film ends, hinting at the final sequel after everything.